My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all ready for that smoke? Y'all ready for this action? Happy Thursday, man. Happy Thursday, my peoples. Today, I'm gonna go ahead and label it Thirsty Thursday. Why Thirsty Thursday? It looks like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are one step closer to making that fight a reality. We already seen them facing off with each other. We already seen them, we've seen the social media back and forth. And I've seen, I don't know if that's confirmed, but apparently they're targeting early 2026, and it's going to be a PBC card. I don't know how true that is, but I saw some type of report saying that it'll be a PBC card. And I think that's interesting because Teofimo Lopez did, I remember, post a picture wearing a PBC hat when things fell apart with Dev. He posted a picture wearing a PBC hat. He was like, things are coming up. Which, by the way, Gary Antuanne Russell is at the 140 division. Don't forget about that. Nebraska Rock, Paradise announced September 27th, 10 a.m. Salute, my brother. Greetings from the main streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Bug Crawford's territory. David Balogun, who's your winner on paper? And who you got for the Haney fight? So I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, that's a great fight. That's a great showdown. It's a legit super fight. I'm excited about it. And, two young fighters, both in their prime, both accomplished. This is it right here. This is one of those. So it's going to be competitive. It's going to be a good fight. Teofimo Lopez, we know what he brings to the table. Shakur, we know what he do. I'm going to have to rock with Shakur Stevenson winning that fight. I think it's going to be real competitive, and it might be the first time that we see Shakur face adversity. This might be the fight where he gets caught with a real good shot that wobbles him or take him down, or something happens when you have to make adjustments to walk out of there with that win. I got Shakur winning it, but it's a tough fight. David Balogun. And who you got for the Haney fight? Listen, for Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr., I'm going to be honest with you, I have not been able to make a prediction. At first, I was like, nah, Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock him out. Brian's going to knock him out. But then I've seen Haney in some training videos and just the way he looks. And I'm like, damn, man, I don't know. So honestly, I don't know about that fight yet. I will make a prediction, but I'm not ready yet, to be honest. Nebraska Rock, nice. I'm here for Shakur and Teo. That's going to be fire. I love Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. And you know what? If you've been around long enough, you guys know I've been talking about that fight. And I said, because Shakur Stevenson gets so much hate, people don't want him to get the big fights. They don't want him to get... I even did a poll. I'm going to repost that video, being that it's Thursday, TBT, little Thirsty Thursday. I'm going to post that video. I did a poll asking people, who y'all think Shakur Stevenson should fight? And it was, the overwhelming majority. Who Teofimo Lopez should fight? The overwhelming majority. Teofimo should fight somebody else. He should fight Sobriel. He should fight Sobriel because, Sobriel got a title. That's the fight you got to make. With Shakur, it don't really make no sense. So the same people that say Shakur ain't fight nobody because he hasn't beaten stars like that, they don't want him to fight Teofimo because they want to keep that narrative going. They want to keep it going. Oh, he ain't beat nobody. Although if you look at Shakur's resume is solid. Super solid resume. But if you're a hater, you can make all type of goofy arguments that don't even make sense. David Battlegun. Because of the skill level, can make uh, Shakur can make Teo look silly. I think Teo will have most answers on anybody he's ever fought. Look, man, we already seen Teofimo Lopez performing at the highest level. And one thing we've also seen with him is that the better his opponent, the better Teofimo has looked. His lone loss was against George Kambosos, and he had a horrible game plan. He went in there thinking, I'm going to spark this guy out of here. That didn't work out. He fell behind on the cards, and he wasn't able to climb back up. David Battleground, 100% agree. I think Shakur gets hurt or caught clean more times than we've ever seen, for sure. Teofimo, the thing about Teofimo is that he's a very, very good counter puncher. And he's heavy-handed. So I think this is the fight where, for the first time we may see Shakur Stevenson face adversity. But again, I don't see nobody beating Shakur Stevenson. And something I want to point out, if this is going to be a PBC card, well, maybe after this fight, the winner gets to fight Gary Antuanne Russell for that title. Let's unify. If we in the same side of the street, what's good? I'm going to tell you what. After that last performance from Gary Antuanne Russell, I want to see him fight one of these guys. I want to see him unify. It's going to be an explosive fight. Brass Corral. Teo can drop bombs. That's what I'm talking about. He's heavy-handed. So I think this could be the first time that Shakur Stevenson faced adversity. Still walks out of it with the W. The Hydro Grind. Shakur by decision. Yoda, will you think that fight scheduled to be Newark, Brooklyn, or Vegas? Honestly, man, that fight, because it's them two, it could be staged in Vegas. I mean, it could be staged. Damn, I see where you're going with it. Brooklyn, Teofimo home, New Jersey, or I see where you're going with it. Whose home are they gonna fight in? Or in Vegas, which would be neutral. Honestly, I believe that fight has the all the ingredients to be staged in Vegas. Why? Because they have a bigger venue over there than what they have in Brooklyn, than what they have in New York. So because of that, I would say take that joint to Vegas. Teofimo and Shakur, they're both young fighters, elite level guys in their prime, very accomplished. This is a big fight. This is a big fight. Take it to Vegas. David Balogun, is this Shakur 140 debut? If I'm not mistaken, because they haven't agreed to anything, so I don't know if there's going to be a catchweight, if there's going to be a different division. I don't know. But to my understanding, it will be Shakur Stevenson's debut at the 140 division. Yoda. Teo is like Canelo. When he gets frustrated, he can't fight. The Hydro Grind. I think it will be neutral ground, Vegas or Saudi in a Riyadh card. Well, I'm not sure because this is not confirmed. Chat, if anybody knows. I've seen a post somewhere where they said that they agree or they're close to agreeing to fight in a pay-per-view, in a PBC card. So if it's a PBC card, anything Riyadh season, I think is out of the question, unless they already work something out to work together. But if it's PBC, I'm thinking Amazon Prime. Clarence McLean, no Doug Zone podcast. Yo, salute my peoples. Jay Smith, peace in the chat. Peace to the chat. My brother, appreciate you dropping it. You know what we doing out here. We talking boxing. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. It looked like that fight is this close to being made. This close right there. I already seen them grilling each other, facing each other. You don't see them trying to do business with nobody else. To me, that's all but done. We need that fight. We need it. I gotta be honest with y'all. Underrated Will. 24 viewers and 5 likes. Good morning, my peoples. Like and subscribe. Of course, man. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. You know you're getting this healthy dosage of sweet science. Ow, booger. Yeah. I read it's Riyadh Season PBC collaboration. Oh. Is this the first? I think that is going to be the first time that we see that collab. And that's good. That's good for the PBC because I told you guys before, man, who they going to fight on Amazon Prime? Themselves? And who you got? So they needed to have someone to collaborate with so that they could make some fights. That's a perfect option. David Battlegun. I wish I could erase Tank from boxing. His whole career has been irrelevant at this point. If he never fights Shakur, there'll be no champion I rate less. He's robbing the fans. It's overdue. Well, you have to understand that. And I respect it. Tank Davis and the PBC, Al Heyman and them, they build a model to where he doesn't have to win titles to be successful in their fans' eyes. That's why you see that their fans oftentimes make the argument that he makes more money, that he puts butts in seats, that he's selling more pay-per-views. You know, all of these things are designed so that you could be happy with him just knocking people out. So if I could cherry pick a guy from the 130 division, Lamar Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong, but he cherry picked Andrade Garcia and knocked him out. Or fought opponents that were like, damn, when you gonna fight the guys? But they already conditioned the fans to accept that because, hey, he make a lot of money. You ain't getting a cut, but he's making a lot. So we would do the same thing if that was us. So I think that they changed the mindset of boxing fans successfully. Because you don't see Tank Davis boxing fans. Nah, I'm tired of this. He gotta fight this. They not demanding him. If anything, they supporting whatever move he makes. So we have to accept that he has a fan base that's cool with him. Yoda, Shakur puts on 5 pounds of muscle. He a problem. And you know he's gonna gain that weight the right way. The right way. Braskarov, Turkey making PBC step their game up. Best versus best. Listen, it's like Turkey said before to Boots. No tune-ups over here. You want tune-ups? Go over there. Do what you gotta do over there. And then when you're ready for that smoke, let me know. We make it happen. But Turkey not playing around. Like I said before, man, I think that there's positive things about Turkey, but there are some things that I'm not too happy with, let's just say. David Balogun. Tank has had the chance to fight all of them guys. He's watched them come up and go and fight each other. He's never tried to unify. Shakur has agreed to the small percentage splits. There's no excuse. That's the problem, man, that Tank Davis, part of their marketing strategy for Tank is keeping them undefeated. So, business-wise, if we trying to keep you undefeated, you ain't gonna fight no damn Shakur. Hell no, you're not fighting no damn Shakur. That's it. That L is on the way. So that's it. Hold on, man. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Since you're talking about Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson, I got something for you. I gotta holler at you. But again, my peoples, this is, and I find it interesting that Shakur has, tried so hard and made it clear that he wants to fight Tank Davis. Yeah, you'll find Tank Davis fans that'll tell you, nah, Shakur don't want that fight. He's capping. He don't want it. He don't want it. He wants that fight, my peoples. Shakur Stevenson wants that fight. But we know what it is. We know what it is, my peoples. No need to cap. Hugs Ballasworth. Howdy. Oh, yeah, God bless Dave. Safe. Salute. Bam. David Balogun. Roach smokes Tank in a rematch. Look, man, since you say Roach smokes Tank in a rematch, that makes me think about a song. Cause that rematch didn't happen. You know. We was all waiting for that rematch. Lamar Roach. We know that Lamar Roach showed out in that fight. Tank Davis was gifted a draw. And it's crazy. Because that fight was supposed to happen. But should have fought Lamar Roach. Definitely should have fought Lamar Roach, and I know it. David Balogun. So what are you going to say if Tank doesn't rematch him? DuckTales. Woo! So my people, listen. I'm going to be honest with y'all. What Tank Davis pulled off was a duck move. That's it. Regardless of how much money he's going to make versus Jake Paul, we have to admit it. That's a duck. He didn't want to fight that rematch. Look, I'm going to prove to you right now that this is a duck. Right now. That's it. Any doubt that you had in your head, I'm going to prove it to you right now. Y'all remember when the fight finished? Right when the fight finished, the post-fight interview. You know, right after the fight, you're dealing with those raw emotions of what just happened. Tank Davis not used to getting paws put on him like that. And right after the fight, when they asked him, he said, yeah, I want a rematch. Yeah, I want a rematch. Out of his own mouth. Because he knew he got lumped up. But what happened? A rematch was actually scheduled. I'm going to remind you guys. Look, I'm gonna take you back and I'm going to show you that this is a duck. A rematch was actually scheduled. Jake Paul came out and said, me and Tank Davis was going to fight. I was supposed to climb the ring after this. But that situation happened with Lamar Roach. So we're going to wait for him to handle his business. And then me and him going to make it happen. That's what we thought was going to happen. Lamar Roach was going to rematch Tank Davis. And then Tank Davis will fight Jake Paul afterwards for the huge bag. But here's the reality of what did happen. Tank Davis wanted the rematch, but they went back and looked at the tape and said, damn, yo, this dude really put the beats on us. Don't fight this rematch, bro. You fight this rematch, this dude's going to beat us up, and there ain't going to be no Jake Paul bag. We're going to have to forget about that bag. So the people not going to like it. The fans are going to react. We need to duck this rematch and go straight for that big bag right now. And the decision was made. The decision was made to duck the rematch against Lamar Roach and go get the money. Now, even if you're saying, I'll take the money too, I would do the same too, or you would do the same too, cool. It's still a duck though. It doesn't change it. He ducked Lamar Roach and went to fight Jake Paul. Which, by the way, I said I had Lamar Roach winning the rematch. I said I got him winning the rematch. And people's like, nah, Tank is gonna knock him out. What's my people that was saying Tank Davis gonna knock Lamar Roach out? What? Because I'm gonna tell you something. If you think Tank Davis gonna knock Lamar Roach out, Tank Davis don't believe you. Tank Davis' team don't believe you. Because if that was the case, they would have knocked him out and then fought Jake Paul. They could have did that. And let me just show you, let me prove to you that they could have did that. He's fighting Jake Paul at the end of the year. The Lamar Roach fight was supposed to happen this month. So he could have fought Lamar Roach this month and still fought Jake Paul at the end of the year in that little exhibition. That's not a real fight. It's an exhibition, my people. He could have did it. Chose not to fight that rematch. Y'all know why. You talking about, no, it's because of the bag. It's because of the bag. What bag? He could have fought him in September and still fought Jake Paul at the end of the year. That bag was going to be there unless he got his ass kicked. If he got beat up, there ain't going to be no bag. Out booger. You see George isn't allowing the fight. MVP trying to find another state to do the fight right now. I think they're going to do it in Vegas. Georgia. I think they're going to do it in Vegas. I'm not sure where they're going to do it at, but I already seen they found another state. They're going to do that. Listen, it's an exhibition fight. Trust me. They're going to do it. He agrees. Lamar going to work his ass off. The rematch. Bro, I don't think there's going to be a rematch. I don't think we're ever going to see a rematch. And I'm going to tell you why. If you recall, before Tank Davis announced that he was fighting Jake Paul, he first said that he was going to fight either Manny Pacquiao or move to the 140 division. He posted that himself or tweeted that. So he's already letting us know that he wasn't planning on doing the rematch next. That is, look, I said it before. I felt like Lamar Roach got kneecapped. We witnessed a kneecapping exercise. Why? First of all, he won the first fight. We know that that draw was a gift to Tank Davis. Second of all, he got a rematch that is already scheduled, that we already have a date and everything. And then that bag, that venue, that other opportunity gets taken away, and it goes to Jake Paul. He got left out in the cold just like that. When he done beat your ass in that first fight and couldn't get the win. So, if Tank Davis is telling us, after he already had a rematch scheduled with this guy, nah, I'm gonna either fight this dude or move up and wait. Lamar Roach made his debut at the 135 division versus Tank Davis. He knows damn well Roach ain't going up to 140 no time soon. He know that. Look, Tank Davis is doing with Lamar Roach the same thing that Devin Haney did with Shakur Stevenson. Left the division. That's it. We supposed to fight. I'm out of here, bro. Bam. That's it. He boogied on him. Al Booger, the hydro grind, smokes Pitbull, backs him up like a rayo. Man, listen. Lamar Roach is going to put all type of hands on Pitbull. He's going to make it look way different than it was versus Tank Davis. You know, Pitbull gave Tank some problems. But, to be fair, Tank fought Pitbull with one hand. He got hurt early. And still beat him. Tough fight, but he won. Underrated Will. Bivol versus Crawford. I mean, that's a potential matchup. If that fight happened, Crawford's going to win, of course. Crawford. Nobody beating Crawford. David Balogun. I couldn't believe it. Rayo struggled the way he did versus Russell. Bro, Gary Antuanne Russell is nice like that, man. I thought the fight was going to be a lot more competitive. That's the way that it played out. But Gary Antuanne Russell is a special fighter, man. Don't get it twisted. And every time he step in the ring, you know you're going to get your money's worth. You know you're going to have a good time. He can fight. That style of boxing that he has, he moves, give you angles, let the hands fly. Nah, bro. Gary Antuanne Russell. And that's why I mentioned earlier, keep that in mind, my peoples, if Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson is gonna be a PBC Riyadh season joint venture, that means that Gary Antuanne Russell is gonna be possibly, on the cards for future negotiations. Like, okay, now we got Gary Antuanne Russell. Let's match him up with this fighter. Which it could be Shakur Stevenson, I wouldn't mind. Let them unify. The hydro grind. Did Tank have a proper training camp before the Roach fight? Or did the fight get postponed and he even went to jail? Nah, yeah, that's because, come on, the hydro grind. You're a tankomaniac. You're a tankomaniac. The fight actually got postponed first for no reason. Then he got in trouble, got postponed, and then he just went after somebody else. But do you not remember how Errol Spence postponed on Crawford and then never fought him? Just waited till the rematch clause for the rematch clause to expire. So let me put you on the hydro grind. They have a rematch clause, but that rematch clause doesn't prevent Tank Davis from doing an exhibition fight. So he's gonna do his little exhibition fight, and guess what? The rematch clauses usually expire within a year. By the time that year is up, clause has expired, Tank Davis is free to fight whoever he wants. Duck move. Stop it. He ducking. Underrated Will. Now Tank tried cherry pick Roach. I said it. Lamar Roach was a cherry pick gone wrong. Make no mistake about it. Cherry pick gone wrong. Brought him up from the 130 division. Thought you was gonna knock him out. And the evidence that Tank Davis was expecting to knock him out. Look at the first 3-4 rounds of this fight. Chilling. Man, taking it easy. I'm gonna knock you out down the line. Fell behind on the cards. Then what? Got all type of hands put on him. Had to be lying about Vaseline in the eyes, taking a knee, walking away. People wiping his face mid-round while the clock is ticking. Lamar Roach had him acting unusual, out of character. Look, man, I'm going to be honest. Me, myself, I predicted that Tank Davis was going to knock him out by the 9th round or before that. That's what I predicted. But I think by the 3rd round, I already began to understand that Lamar Roach was different. By the 3rd round, when I'm seeing this guy consistently walking Tank Davis down, trading leather with him, winning exchanges, counter punching Tank Davis, big shots, boom, hold that. Bullying Tank Davis, like Tank Davis, when Tank Davis trying to do funny things, he like, what you trying to do? We bullying you out here too. So Lamar Roach was just showed us something that we didn't know he had. Which is why I said Lamar Roach is going to win the rematch. I told you guys, he's going to win the rematch. There is no rematch. So for those who say, nah, Tank Davis going to knock him out. Oh, yeah, Tank Davis going to knock him out? Then why he ain't fight him? Why he didn't fight him? Remember, Jake Paul's at the end of the year. Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach would have already happened. Could have fought Lamar Roach and still done his exhibition show at the end of the year, my peoples. It's not like he could only take Jake Paul, so Lamar Roach was out of the way. No, he could have done both. He could have fought a real fight versus the guy that lumped him up, and then the exhibition show right after. That was doable. The hydro grind. Roach won, yes, but not easy. No, it wasn't an easy look. Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach was a very competitive fight. We have to be real about it. That was a competitive fight. But all I'm saying is, if that was such a competitive fight, if there was controversy, if we saw what should have been scored a knockdown, not be scored a knockdown, we have to wonder, bro. We have to wonder. We have to say, whoa, is this a duck? What do you think this is? Come Come on, my peoples. It's not a. It's definitely not a good look. No, look, we can say I would do the same thing, and it's a lot of money, and it's true, okay. But just because he's gonna make a lot of money doesn't mean it's not a duck. It's a duck, my peoples. Do not make no mistake about it. Lamar Roach showed that he's the truth. Lamar Roach showed that he's the truth, my people. When Tank Davis duck you, you're the truth. Because we know that Tank Davis been ducking Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson called him out. And what happened when Shakur Stevenson called him out? Come on now. Let's be honest. Let's be honest, my people. The hydro grind. Tank was surprised and didn't expect that type of challenge. He thought it was going to be easy and got surprised. I know, but we saw the way the fight played out. There should have been a rematch. And what we getting? DuckTales. Woo! That's what we getting, my peoples. DuckTales. Come on now. Making a bunch of money doesn't mean that, oh, well, you're not ducking. Yes. DuckTales. Woo! Tank Davis with Lamar Roach. Tank Davis did to Lamar Roach. I'm just keeping it 100 with you, my people. That's all it is. David Balogun, he beat Tank. And Lamar Roach said in his post fight that Tank said to him near the end, they won't give him the decision. I mean, what can I tell you, man? That was a Tank Davis promotion. I don't even know what to say, bro. I don't even know what to say. The athletic commission said that they reviewed it and chose not to change anything. What was the point of the review? They admitted that the referee made a mistake. So, what is the point? You ain't doing your job. You all need to be fired. That's the truth. The hydro grind. Tank was surprised. Oh, I think it's a move from a guy who is tired of boxing politics and wants to get out with the bag. Watch him retire after Jake. I mean, they've already said that, that's not breaking news. That's what my brother, damn, I can't, name is not coming to me. Rick Glaser. Golly. My guy, Rick Glaser, salute. But that's what he said, the hydro grind, that's what Rick Glaser said, that he's going to get a bag and retire from boxing. And then he said that, well, he's going to retire from boxing, run out of money, and then come back to boxing. Let's see. Is Tank Davis? I mean, I think Tank Davis, I heard or I read somewhere that he's making good investments with his money. He's doing certain things. So if he's securing his future, it might be that. He might retire and not come back. Remember, if he has, successful businesses, we may never see him again after Jake Paul. David Balogun, Jay Smith, we got to talk again live. We got to talk about Tank getting out this sport. I think he should retire. Look, Tank Davis, you have to understand, my brother. You think he should retire because he's not fighting the best. He's not fighting, the guys that we want to see him fight. But with the fan base that he has, I'm telling you, he's going to still keep making a lot of money should he choose to stay and continue the cherry-picking tour. He's still going to make a lot of money. People tell us all the time right here in the chat. In other words, I don't care who he fights, as long as he's knocking them out and he's putting butts in seats and selling pay-per-views, I'm all in. So what we've seen is that with Tank, is more about the popularity. People love the fact that he gets knockouts and that he's very popular. That's it. He's a star. He's a star, my brother. So at this point, he don't have to fight the best. He don't have to fight the guys who have the good resume. He don't have to. I mean, he could fight guys with a good resume, but I'm talking about the guys at the top. The Teofimos, the Shakur Stevenson. the Gary Antuanne Russells. He ain't trying to fight those guys. That's it. We just have to accept it. David Battlegun, where's the Tank fanboys? I want some smoke. Oh, you trying to get that action this morning. But listen, bro, we really digress. And I'm gonna say this. Shakur Stevenson gets so much hate, that if you think about it, almost a lot of these pages that talk negative stuff about him, none of them were posting about him potentially fighting Teofimo Lopez. None of them. Duncan Carter, salute my brother. Bam. None of them was posting about that. It's like they don't want that fight to happen. They don't want to promote it. They don't want to generate interest. And I was telling you guys, come on, man. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, that's a heck of a fight. That's a legit super fight. Look at the accomplishments between these two guys. They're both in their prime, both in their 20s. You don't get fights like that often. So as soon as I heard the possibility of this showdown, I was talking about it. I was all in. I'm all in on that fight. And you see that there was people out there ignoring it, like that fight didn't even exist. Like they had no interest. Yo, some of you may have been here. I did a poll. And a bunch of people was like, nah, I'm not really interested in that fight. I think Teofimo should go fight somebody else. I'm like, damn. You hate Shakur that bad that you don't want to see that fight? Just so he don't get an opportunity to fight a name and you could keep saying, oh, look, he ain't beat nobody. Come on, bro. Hold on, my peoples. Let me grab this breakfast right quick. My peoples, y'all already know what this is, man. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking about Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. Salute to everybody on this beautiful Thursday morning, aka Thirsty Thursday. Yes, it is Thirsty Thursday. We talking about Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, and the possibility that they're gonna fight. I honestly believe that they're closer to announcing that. There is a possibility that this fight is gonna happen. There is a possibility that that fight is gonna happen early 2026. And I saw in a post somewhere that in the case of this fight, it is gonna be a joint venture between PBC and Riyadh Season. That's great. That's great news for the PBC, number one, because they're not gonna be stuck on that in-house stuff that they've been on. They're gonna, mix promotion kind of deal going on here. And that I believe opens the door. That I believe opens the door for Gary Antuanne Russell to fight the winner of these two guys. Because remember, Gary Antuanne Russell is a PBC fighter. So if PBC is doing business with Riyadh Season, yeah, man, I got a dog over here playing with me. If PBC doing business with Riyadh Season, then Gary Antuanne Russell may be on the table for a future fight with Shakur Stevenson. Shit, man. Hold on, my peoples. Hold on. But make your predictions, man. Make your predictions. Who do you got? Who do you got? Wait. Who do you got? Wait. Who do you got winning that fight? I believe this is all but a done deal. Who do you believe is gonna win that fight? Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. Let me know what you think, my peoples. Your green thumb. Good morning, my G. Appreciate you dropping in. David Battleground. I want Norman out of 147 real soon. Need to see Norman versus Boots. Hold on, man, cause hold on, cause you're talking about you want Norman versus Boots, but Brian Norman Jr. got Devin Haney next, and that's gonna be a good fight, man. Brian Norman Jr. versus Devin Haney. I haven't even been able to make a prediction for that one, bro. I haven't even been able to make a prediction. My peoples, again, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. I'm eating my breakfast right now. In case you're doing the same, enjoy it. If you just woke up, yo, get dressed, get ready. We got to get the day going, my peoples. Those of you who's already on your way to work, salute. We got to get this money today, my peoples. But right now, Boxing for Breakfast is what's going down. Let's get it. Your green thumb. Personally, I like Stevenson. I don't know enough about the other guy to make a pick. You don't know enough about Teofimo Lopez? Or you talking about Gary Antuanne Russell? Because both of those, man, are super, super elite level fighters. David Battleground, he's going to knock Haney out. I don't think of any other outcome. Damn, you got Haney going to sleep? Look, man, I'm going to be honest. It's hard to make that prediction. When a fighter's never been knocked out, and you see how many times that one went down and got back up, hard to make that prediction, bro. The Hydro Grind, Shakur won't lose one round against Teo. The Hydro Grind. I remember when Teo fought the Dominican guy, same style as Shakur. He lost that fight clearly. Jermaine Ortiz. That was a close fight, man. That was a close fight. That's one of those. Nebraska Road. Take care, everybody. Salute, my brother. Bam. Wilfredo Cruz. I think Shakur beats Lopez. Lopez has a puncher's chance, but Shakur's skills are at another level. I agree with you. Leg Gang, salute. Bam. Al Booger, Haney by decision. David Battle, I had somebody tell me that Haney was going to make it look easy. I haven't made a prediction on that one, but someone told me that. David Battleground. Round finished him at least twice. The ref had his money on him. You know, that fight should have been stopped by the ref, or could have been stopped by the ref, but should have definitely been stopped by Devin's pops. He was getting pummeled out there. Took a nasty beating. Nasty, nasty beating. Like, even though they overturned the loss to the no contest, we didn't forget about that beating. That wasn't necessary. Raw dog, what you eating? Egg and cheese, my brother. Egg and cheese on wheat bread. The Hydro Grind. Shakur never been hurt and can't get hit. Bro, Shakur don't even know how to get hit. I think he just don't know how to get hit. You got to teach him how to get hit because he don't know how to do that. I think he has to take some type of training. Like, look, Shakur, when they throw a punch, don't move out the way, and then you can get hit. The Hydro Grind. He tried to get hit against Zepeda. I think Shakur don't get hit even when he tried. That's how good his defense is. He trying to get hit, but he can't even. He can't. He don't know how to get hit. That's just it right there. The reality. David Balogun. What a beating. As they would say in the UK, that was a proper beating. Proper beating. Bill should have pulled the plug on that. By the 9th round, when Haney was getting wobbled around and his legs were shaky, damn, yo, Dad, step in there, man. You didn't have to let your son take that type of beating. Come on now. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if my son wanted to box, I wouldn't stop him from boxing. But if I was in a situation where I'm his trainer and I'm there, and he's taking that type of beating, I'm not letting him go 12 rounds. I'm not letting him go the distance. He's gonna be mad at me, but I'm stopping that fight. I'm like, son, my man's beating you up. I'm pulling the plug on this. You want to be mad at me? Do you? I'm not gonna sit here watch you getting pummeled. Your green thumb. By the way, Canelo's gear was popping for the Crawford fight. Yo, listen. Canelo versus Crawford. When you look back, you'll see it was historic on all levels. If you look at the entrance, the music, the outfits of both fighters, the production, the way that they put it together, you could tell you was witnessing a historic event. David Balogun, Zepeda, Buck Shakur, but it seemed like a balance issue more than anything upon review. He didn't hurt him. Yeah, he never hurt him. Caught him with a shot, moved him, but he never hurt him. Chayanne, Tio is not Zepeda. Tio way more athletic. Oh, that's a fact. That's why I'm saying that Teofimo Lopez could be the first fighter to actually push Shakur through adversity. You know, like Shakur might get dropped and have to get up from the canvas and make adjustments to win the fight. That kind of stuff. Like, I expect a real competitive fight, my people. I really do. And like I said before, I love the fact that it's going to be a PBC and Riyadh season card. Because now that opens the door for PBC fighters to face off with guys that are fighting over there. This is not going to be the first and only one. We're going to see more of it. That's a good thing. And remember, Gary Antuanne Russell is a PBC fighter. A PBC fighter. I'm going to give you a scenario to consider. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez are going to face each other early next year. The winner unifies title with Gary Antuanne Russell in the very next fight. I gotta say, David, that's a good assessment because Teofimo Lopez does have great feet and great footwork. And what I think is gonna happen in this fight could be similar to Lomachenko versus Devin Haney, where Lomachenko got such great footwork that he was able to consistently stay in front of Devin, cut the ring the right way, and be right there. And he pushed Devin to fight. Devin had to fight and throw more punches and do more things that he usually, because Lomachenko pushed him to that edge. So I think Teofimo, he has the type of footwork and the type of skills where he's going to be in front of Shakur Stevenson. He's going to push the fight. David Balogun, what about Keyshawn? Is he due to debut at 140? I mean, right now he's officially retired, but I think he's just going to take a 1 year break and come back. So, but I would expect him to come back directly to 140. Duncan Carter, it doesn't seem like anybody's in a hurry to fight Gary Antuanne Russell. I haven't seen nobody calling him out. I haven't seen nobody seem like they're interested in his title. Let's see. Let's see how this all plays out. Mm. Bakra Mortasaliev. It's kind of the same deal with him. You don't really see nobody expressing interest in that fight. And you see the way that he pulverized Tim Tszyu. Raw Dog, where's Robeshi? I don't know. He had a fight a few months back, and he won. You know, Robeshi is tough because took a couple of losses right there within a short time frame. He lost. As a matter of fact, after he lost the rematch to that dude, has he come back? I'm not sure. I gotta look at the box right. But Robeshi, unfortunately, and it's not fair, but his stock is down. Stock is down right now. You know, they're not talking about him. He's not a champion, obviously. He's not fighting for titles. He's not, one of the main guys right now. So he has the skill set to put himself back up there. But let's see. Let's see if he can make it. Cheyenne, Matias, and Hitchison directly called out Russell. Listen, I didn't see it. I'll take your word for it. I love either one of those fights. To be honest, I think Gary Antuanne Russell cooks Subriel Matias. And then Russell versus Hitchison, that's a different story. That I don't know. I would really have to think about it. But you have to understand, Subriel Matias, and I like him. I don't want nobody to think, please don't rain down upon me that I'm a Subriel Matias hater. I'm not. I love watching Subriel fight. All his fights are exciting. But y'all know that he's a flat-footed fighter. You're a flat-footed fighter with one gear. I'm coming forward, bam, 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 bang, and we're going to go back and forth, and I'm going to outgun you. His style is kind of like that. I'm going to outgun you. So when he gets in there with the tough guy that's going to try to outgun you too, he's been successful for the most part. But when he get in there with that guy that got that good footwork, That's gonna give him angles. That's gonna move around. That's gonna make him chase and set him up. He's had problems. He's had problems. Simple as that. So when you talk about a guy like Gary Antuanne Russell, who has that quickness, that sharpness, I think he cook him. I think he just bait him up. Raw dog, cook Matias. He has been cooked before. I see the fight playing out in Gary Antuanne Russell's favor heavily. Like I said, man, styles make fight. Styles make fights. And he's not a good matchup for Suriel. At all, my people. At all. I don't see it. The notion, and I'm switching to this fight, the notion that Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock out Devin Haney and make it look easy, I find it hard to digest that. Somebody said that earlier, and I missed that comment by mistake. I wanted to read it, but I was saying something. That, Brian Norman Jr. is going to knock Devin Haney out, make it look easy. Nah, my peoples. It's not going to go down that way. A knockout can happen. I'm not saying it's out of the question. Brian Norman Jr. can sleep you with one shot. We've seen it already. We've seen him do it multiple times. But all I'm saying is that we can't disrespect Devin Haney and act like this guy's not one of the best out there. This guy's one of the best out there. So to say that he's gonna just get made to look easy and get beat up, get knocked out, I think that's a stretch. Chayanne, easier said than done. That's what I'm talking about. It's easy to say it. Real easy to say it. Especially if you ain't never been punched in the face. Oh, yeah. For them, you could say it. The hydro grind. Remember Puello destroyed Russell? So, I think that's an exaggeration, the hydro grind. Puello did not destroy Russell. I had him edging out the fight, let me just say. I did have him edging out the fight, but it was a very close and very competitive fight for you to say that Puello destroyed him. Come on, bro. I know that Puello is our Dominican brother, He's Dominican, we Dominican. We got to back our guy. But he did not destroy Gary Antuanne Russell. That is major cap. I mean, major cap. It was a good fight, though. I ain't gonna cap. It was a good fight. And I felt like Puello won, by the way. I felt like he won. And they took it from him. But damn, destroyed him? Shit. The hydro grind, sorry. That was a patriotic reaction. Salute, my brother. David Balogun. Brown will stay competitive. And when it's time to take him out, Haney will want to go home. Look, man. If the fight goes the distance, I think Haney can win on the cards. But can he go 12 rounds without getting clipped? Because I'm going to say this. And something that people don't say enough of. Why we act like Brian Norman Jr. is a guy who only got power. That's it. Oh, he just got power. You seen the footwork? You seen the how light he's on his toes and how he can move and how he could give you angles and all that. So the notion that he could just go in there, maybe land a shot to win the fight. No, he's going to be putting hands on Devin Haney. This guy's mad athletic. He's going to be cutting the ring off. Haney's going to find himself with his back up against the ropes a lot. And Brian Norman Jr. let the hands fly. That's what I'm telling you. It's going to be similar to how it played out with Lomachenko. When Lomachenko was in Haney's face all night long. Chayanne, who you got? How does it go? Benavidez versus Yard. I got Benavidez. I want to say by stoppage, but... yeah, man, I got Benavidez. I'm going to go with Benavidez by stoppage. David Balogun. He's good. He beats Haney. I'm so sure. We're gonna see, man, because Haney can box, man. He's an elite level fighter. I myself, look, honestly, when they first announced the fight, I said Brian Norman Jr. is gonna knock Devin Haney out. But little by little, man, as I've been seeing Devin Haney and some of the videos, how he looks physically, it made me kind of. I was leaning one way, and now I'm kind of like in the middle. I'm not leaning either way, but it's a tough one. Like I said before, I'm gonna make a prediction, but shit, man, I'm not ready yet. Love more Hinduism. Rest in peace, Hit Manhattan. That's right, brother. R.I.P. to Ricky Hatton, man. Warrior. Superman. They sleeping on his footwork. They not sleeping, man. They unconscious. They snoring. They passed out on that footwork. Brian Norman Jr. be floating in that ring. And that's what I'm telling you. When you have a fighter like that, you can't just dance circles around him. He's gonna be dancing right with you, right in front of you. If a fighter has real good footwork and he's athletic, you're not just gonna be floating around and have a great day. Cheyenne, Tank and Jake, that's an exhibition fight. I don't know what to tell you. That's not an exhibition fight. That's an exhibition show. So Tank and Jake, I say they're gonna have a lot of fun and make a lot of money. So there you have it. The Hydro Grind. One thing I've seen, Haney has been out of a lot of events. Press conference, weighing, fights, Norman has never seen. He's focused in the gym. It's not gonna play a part come fight night. Honestly, I think when they get in the ring, all that stuff is not gonna matter because you're talking about two elite level fighters, two world champions who've both fought on big stages. Maybe not the same place, maybe not the same crowd, but they both fought, under bright lights and at the highest level. So I said these guys are ready to fight anybody anyway, and it's gonna boil down to who's better inside the ring that night. Raw dog, Haney's chin not gonna hold up. You're saying it's not gonna hold up, but what if he doesn't get hit? What if he can avoid it? Chaya, word, two big birds. Come on, they're gonna have fun. That's I guess what I could. That's my prediction. Look. Brian Norman Jr. I can't tell you who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Shakur Stevenson is gonna win that fight. And Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, they're gonna have fun. That's my prediction for that show. He agrees. They've offered Shakur like $2 million. So he agrees. You said Dev ain't Duck Shakur. The problem with your logic is that you're disregarding the fact that Shakur was the mandatory and Devin Haney chose to vacate the title and leave the division. It's not about what they offered Shakur. It's about the fact that Devin Haney vacated and left the division. They had a purse bid. They were going to go to purse bid on Saturday. On Thursday, Devin Haney vacated the titles and said, oh, no, I'm not fighting him. I'm leaving the division. So what you're saying here, Grease, you're trying to make it seem like they didn't fight because Shakur was offered money. No, they didn't fight because Devin Haney left the division. So when he offered Shakur money, was just to fool you into believing that they want to fight so that you can say these kind of things in the future. But in reality, Devin never wanted to fight Shakur. He ducked him. Superman, Jay Smith, people still making nasty excuses, crying about Saturday. Listen, the excuses have actually gotten worse than I thought they would. And just the lying and the fake narratives has gotten worse. This is even worse than when Crawford battered Errol Spence. This is even worse, the way that they're reacting now. And you see the people, again, it's the same people who said that Canelo was going to knock him out and make him look easy. They're the same people now saying that, Canelo's washed, Canelo's not the same. Crawford is ducking Benavidez and Crawford is ducking Boots. They want to talk about everything and anything except that ass whooping that Terrence Crawford gave Canelo Alvarez. Let's talk about anything except that. Come on, my people. Let's be for real. Crawford's place in history is stamped. It's stamped. That's it. Like, there's no getting around. How many years boxing been around? How many years? 100 and almost 200 years, 100 and something, whatever it is. Not one fighter, not one world champion, not one elite level fighter has ever been undisputed in 3 divisions, outside of Terrence Crawford on the male side and Clarissa Shields on the female side. That's it. Let that sizzle in your spirit, my people. The first and only one in the over 100 years of boxing history to accomplish this feat. Crawford B. Spence wasn't on Crawford's level. A lot of people found out that night. A lot of people found out that night. And I spent 3 months trying to explain it. It's crazy because I spent 3 months trying to explain it back then. And I spent 3 months trying to explain the same thing right now. What was the narrative around Crawford versus Spence? Spence is too big. Crawford is too little. Crawford's not going to be able to handle the power. Spence is going to knock him out. Imagine if little Gamboa wobbled Crawford. Imagine what Arrow's going to do to him. Y'all remember that? Doesn't that all sound like a familiar narrative? Bigger, stronger, can't take the power. Doesn't it sound familiar? So, somehow, some way, the same people that were arguing that narrative 2 years ago started making that same argument when Crawford was gonna fight Canelo. And I said, my peoples, do you not remember that you said Errol was too big? And how did that play out? Do you not remember you said Errol was too strong? Do you not remember you said little Gamboa hurt him, so Errol's gonna kill him? And how did little Gamboa wobbling Crawford help Errol Spence? How did that help him exactly? So you should have learned already. You should have learned that that logic is out of order, unusual, that you're being hoodwinked, run amok by anybody that's floating that idea around. Corey B. No, Steven Seal. I've been fighting on Crawford's respect for decades. Glad it's over with. The funny thing about it is that you shouldn't have been fighting for his respect. You know why? Because all the guy has done is win. The reason why you've been fighting for his respect all this time is because the PBC started creating a narrative on him the moment he moved to the welterweight division. If you think about it, most people who took all this stuff didn't even really know Crawford before he was in the welterweight division. Now, everybody says, oh yeah, I've always known Crawford. Oh my God, I've known him his whole career. But in reality, before he got to the welterweight division, he started getting more of a buzz, obviously, when he became undisputed at 140. When he became undisputed, most people can't even name the opponent that he faced when he became undisputed the first time around. Most people can't even name the guy. But I digress. The point is that Crawford's popularity grew, but the hate grew with it. People have never wanted to accept his greatness. Never. Superman. Oh, I just saw online, Lil Gamboa, 3-piece tank. You let that sizzle in your spirit. Little Gamboa hurt him. Imagine what Errol Spence is gonna do when he catch him. And look, Errol Spence got pummeled. So you should have known that the size, that the power doesn't dictate outcome of fights. That's number one. And number two, you should have already known that a previous opponent doesn't dictate what's gonna happen in a future fight. Ever. You could take that as consideration. You could say, well, look what happened with this opponent, but then you have to have more. If that's all you got, you ain't got shit. You should have found out when Crawford absolutely battered Errol Spence. And now look, he has to put the Dre, the Swiss, and the respective Apple beats on Canelo Alvarez for you to understand that the guy is great. Shy guy. Canelo had arthritis on his head, and he couldn't weave. Look, man. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you like this. Terrence Crawford did kind of like what Shakur Stevenson did in his last fight. Remember when Shakur was gonna fight William Zepeda? Give me a hug, nigga. You wanna give me a hug? You wanna say good morning to the people? You don't wanna say good morning? Give me a hug. When you have kids, if you have small kids, sometimes don't you feel like just putting them in a full Nelson? You don't feel like full Nelson in them? Hey, my lady. My peoples. My bad, I got in a fight up in here. Y'all already know what it is, man. This is a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Ryan, look, David said good morning. He said good morning to you. He said good morning, Ryan. Look, you see? That's how you say good morning to the people? You. What happened? My peoples, make your prediction. I hope y'all don't try to duck this prediction. Please don't duck. Don't duck this prediction like you ducking that like button, which you could have been double tapped the screen. You could have been hit that little button up there. Bang. Who you guys got winning? Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. I need to know. Who's going to win that showdown? And they haven't officially announced it. They haven't said that the fight is going to happen yet. But I'm going to go on a limb right now and give you my J. Stradamus prediction. That fight is happening. That fight is going down. Love More Hinduism. Teofimo Lopez. Superman. Core. Agent 17. I got Shakur over Teo. Even though I love Teo, I think Shakur is winning. David Balogun. Wild Shout. Teo by Dr. Stoppage or something. Whoa. A wild shot Teo by stoppage. David Balogun. Teo by TKO. Whoa. Jacobus. Thus Gaming. Teo. You got Teo 2. The distance. Stoppage. Okay. Some people got Teo. Some people got Devin. Some people got Shakur. I'm going to tell you guys like this, man. I got Shakur. I can't see anybody beating Shakur. That's the real deal. Nobody beats him. I don't see nobody. There's a few fighters in boxing. You in the show with me. You want to be on the show, you're going to be on the show with me. That's what you want. I think this guy's eventually just going to take over for me, to be honest with y'all. Okay, I'll close it. This guy's going to end up taking over for me. So, okay, go close it. Tell mommy to close it. No, tell mommy to close it. Mommy's going to close it. Mommy's going to close it. Agent 17, I agree. Shakur, that dog. Maybe Keyshawn could, but he's going up to 140 right now. David Battlegun. Would Shakur have beat Loma better than Teo did Jay Smith? I say he would have. I feel confident. In fact, you may remember that picture that's out there when Shakur and Loma was sparring with each other. And Shakur said, yo, I hope we can make this fight. Loma had the opportunity to fight Shakur. They wanted him to fight Shakur. In fact, they wanted Shakur to be the guy that he passed the torch to. He wasn't having it because he knew Shakur was going to put hands on him. And Lomachenko, although he has lost, but if you think about his loss to Teofimo and his loss to Devin Haney, very competitive fights. He wasn't trying to step in there and be made to look silly, which is what Shakur would have done. Superman, he left his co-hosting spot. That fool Nelson was hilarious. Sometimes you gotta fool Nelson them. You gotta do it. Gotta give him that fool Nelson discipline. Here agrees. Shakur GOAT. Shakur a special fighter, man. Shakur Stevenson is a special fighter. And you see the type of hate that he gets. Hate it like crazy. They hate on Shakur. Look, let me talk real quick about Shakur Stevenson haters. I'm going to dedicate a brief moment to Shakur Stevenson haters. But before I do that, I need to play the right music that goes with y'all. Hold on, my people. Hold on, my people. This is the right theme song that I need to address Shakur Stevenson haters. So we can understand this situation. What the hell? Hold on, my people. I'm about to address the Shakur Stevenson haters. And I gotta, make sure that I'm accurate with my assessments. Hold on. Check this out, my peoples. This for Shakur Stevenson haters. The way I be hating on Shakur is goofy as hell, yo. All this guy does is win. All this guy does is accomplish. All this guy does is beat highly ranked opponents, champions. And for whatever reason, you prefer to side with a guy that's gonna fight an exhibition fight. When it comes to Tank, you're like, oh no, I would do what he's doing, I would do it. You become the empathy fan. We would all do the same thing. No, my peoples, come on now. Shakur Stevenson is a GOAT right now. Look at the accomplishments. You're a goofball for trying to hate on a young GOAT. This is the type of music that you need for the type of goofballery that you spewing out there. That's my time, my peoples. That's it. When the beat finish, I'm done. So I guess I gave you what I had. Love more Hinduism. He's a great boxer. But he's a bozo. Damn, bro. chocolate, mi little.
Mamá, no me quieras decir que no.
But what do you want? What do you want?
Apple.
You want the doggy? You can. You're gonna get your hands dirty. You're gonna get your hands dirty. And I'm over here telling them about the Shakur Stevenson haters. And I was playing them a song. Now they know that Shakur Stevenson haters is a bunch of goofballs. They know. And you know. Agent 17, look at my previous message. Let me see what Agent 17 said. I see so many videos accusing Crawford of cheating from casuals, ass fans. Right, but you're going outside right now. They just can't believe Canelo got whooped. I accepted it like a man. So should they. And I give you props for that, Agent 17, because this whole 3 months, you said Canelo's going to win. Canelo's going to win by knockout. As soon as he lost, you gave Crawford his credit. Salute to you, my brother. That's how boxing fans, that's how we all need to be. Give credit to the fighters who deserve it, who earned it. Matt Gomez, yo, on my way to work in NYC, checking in. Matt Gomez is in the building. Bam, salute, my brother. Whether you in the subway, in the 1 and 9 train, whether you in a cab, whether you driving, whatever you doing, get to work safe. And I hope you enjoy your thirsty Thursday. But of course, remember, Matt Gomez, if you get out of here without saying who you got between Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, then you a duck too. You duck, Matt Gomez. I haven't heard your opinion. Don't duck this action. Elsewhere, all he does is dominate. Corey B, that's funny. Love more Hinduism. He's a great boxer, but he's a bozo. I don't know why you think he's a bozo, bro. Why? Shy Guy. Shakur should have accepted to 25%. I would have Shakur winning against Haney. No, he should not have accepted the 25% because he's the fighter. He's the one getting punched in the face. He's the one reviewing the contract. It's easy for you to say, he should have took the 25%. You're not getting punched in the mouth. You're not getting punched in the nose. You're just watching on TV, bro. Matt Gomez. Stevenson is going to do more amazing stuff. Tank and Stevenson have different weapons. Boxing is physical form of chess. I agree with you 100%, but I don't think we're going to see Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson because Tank don't want to take a L. He don't want to lose. He knows Shakur dish him that L. The Hydro Grind. Why don't you have a super chat option? So, as you may remember, I had the super chat option for like a month, right? This is what happened. YouTube asked you to send tax documentation. But it's crazy the way that they do it because they didn't ask in the beginning. They wait. Like when you monetize, they don't ask you for nothing and they let you monetize. And after the first month, they ask you to send that paperwork. So most creators, they don't make any money. They don't make, because in YouTube, you got to make at least $100 to be able to take it out the account, right? So most people, their first few months, they're not going to make $100 because it take a long time with the videos to make money. But if you have a super chat and you have a certain level of popularity, you can make money on your first month. In my case, I did make a little bit of money on the first month. You guys is the ones that put that money up there. Which, by the way, everything that get donated to Box Center is going to go into the Box Center studio. I'm building my own studio so that I can give you a show with a better scenery. But the money that went into there, into the super chat, I can't touch it until YouTube receives my tax documentations. That tax documentation is not just any paperwork. It's a document that I got to request at a government office. And you gotta wait like 7 to 10 business days to get it. I'm on like business days number 4 waiting for that shit. So when I get it, you can't even email it to YouTube, bro. You have to send it by mail. So when I get it, I'm gonna go to UPS and send it first class and they'll get it like the next day. And then eventually they'll update the information so that I can have the super chat once again. Superman. That's goofballery. Too much goofballery going on. Still deathcore clownish talking points. Matt Gomez, Stevenson over Devin Haney. Easy work. There's a reason why Devin Haney ducked that action. But Matt Gomez, who you got, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, because that fight might happen next. We might actually get that fight next. And I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I think that fight is going to happen. I believe that fight is going to happen. I believe that fight is going to happen. So, make your prediction, Matt Gomez. Don't duck. That's Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez prediction. Agent 17, that cup. Ooh. My wife got it for me. My wife was like, I love the show. I know everybody loved the show. So I need you to drink your chocolate milk in your personalized joint. So salute to my wife. Te quiero mucho, mi amor. Esta vaina me encantó. Shy Guy, Tio might be too much for Shakur. Shy Guy, remember when they said Canelo was going to be too much for Crawford? You saw how that played out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Lash Melton, good talk, brother. I got Devin Haney. I feel Shakur brings the best out of him, and Shakur don't have the power to make him not fight. That's a reasonable assessment. That's a reasonable assessment. Now, I do disagree simply because I've always felt like Devin Haney doesn't want that fight. Like Devin Haney and Bill Haney don't believe he could win that fight. They don't believe he could beat him. And I say that because that fight could have easily been made. And people clearly going to the 25% that they say Shakur should have taken. But ultimately, that fight did not happen because Devin Haney chose to vacate the titles and leave the division. Right when he was supposed to fight Shakur. That's why I always remind people. They was headed for a purse bid. And that purse bid, let's say it was on Saturday, Devin Haney vacated that Thursday. Most people don't have memory of that because it happened a long time ago. You know I have good memory of it because I was actually posting videos around that time, and I posted a video saying, yes, Devin Haney's not going to be able to run from Shakur Stevenson anymore. The purse bid is going to happen, and now you're going to have to fight. And right before the purse bid, my man said, nah, I'm leaving these belts, leaving the division. So, not only did he not fight Shakur when he was supposed to, but he completely left the division and outside of Shakur's range. Like, you can't catch me, bro. That's it. You can't get to me. So, to me, he don't believe he could beat Shakur. If they felt he could win that fight, they would have made that fight. There's a reason why they didn't make it, bro. So, I feel like he ain't got it. And to also respond to what you said about Shakur's power, Devin Haney's not exactly a power puncher either. Devin Haney's not exactly a knockout artist. So I would say when it comes to power, they're on an even playing field. Agent 17, she did good. I like the design and the ridges on the bottom. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. I love it. You're gonna see this thing every day. You're gonna see it all the time. Cool stuff. And of course, we boxing. We talking boxing, right? JJ's in the house. Good morning, J. Smith. I'm here. Let's go hit that like button, everyone. Don't be a duck. Some people be ducking that like button the same way Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach. You know it's true. Agent 17, how did Devin Haney go from a well-respected good boxer? Now everyone clowns him. I feel, me included. So, I'm going to say this, man. It all goes down to that fight with Ryan Garcia and the aftermath with him suing Ryan Garcia. And now, by the way, he's suing his ex-girlfriend. So it's like, Devin Haney suing. And people clown on that. They look down upon the suing. But I think it's all gonna play out the right way. Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. I think they're both gonna show up in exceptional shape and give us a great fight. Like I said, I'm not ready to make my predictions. Yeah, I have to wait. Shy guy, cause of Bill and that Ryan beating. Man, listen, that beating. If I was, I'm in Dominican Republic, but I was in the UK. If I was in the UK, I would say, man, listen, that was a proper beating. After a beating that proper, Devin Haney, could be affected as far as how he proceeds to put together his offensive attack. We saw he was very cautious in his last fight versus Jose Ramirez. Very, very cautious. And people are gonna label that as running. The way he was constantly moving around the ring, putting hands on him and then just leaving and not staying there to fight, not standing in the pocket. People want to see that. So when you're moving constantly, oh, that's running. I say that was actually a great fight from Devin Haney. Why? Okay. Not the most entertaining, not the most fun to watch. But you have to think about the fact that he took a nasty beating to Ryan Garcia. Should he really come back and get into another slugfest after that? Like, should that be his next fight? I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, Ryan Garcia was hitting him with some hard shots, not just the ones that dropped him. He ate some big bombs besides those when he went down. And he was getting hit hard because you remember that haircut Devin Haney had, like kind of like a fade and a little bit of hair? And remember how Ryan would hit him so hard that you see the hair moving, like boom! When you get punched in the face, and your whole afro moving, your whole hair moving, you're getting rocked. And that's the type of joints Ryan Garcia was landing. Hectic boxing, I agree. Agent 17, I felt like Devin could have beat Ryan, but his chin kept failing him. And the one thing, and people don't even think about that, but Devin Haney had a lot of moments in that fight where he was schooling Ryan. But he would be schooling him, and then boom, that left hook. And then the rest of the round is out of order. So I would say that's the main issue. That left hook that Devin Haney told us about all throughout training camp. All you got is a left hook. All you got is a left hook. You ain't got nothing else. That same left hook kept landing over and over and over. Ron Frazier, Jay Smith, salute. Boston, talk up, North in the building, my brother. Bam. David Battlegun. David Loki won the first half of the fight, but Ryan murdered him in the second half. Bro, that fight, if Devin Haney doesn't eat those big shots, he wins it by points, easily. Unanimous decision. But every time he ate a big shot, the whole rest of the round went downhill from there. And then he ate more. It's like he's good, but once he took the first one, for the rest of the round, he's going to eat 2, 3, 4 more of those. Bang! Bang! And that just kept happening over and over where he's winning the round. He's outboxing him, but then he eat a left hook. Everything changed. Ron Frazier. Devin Haney got a chin. He did get stopped. Did he? And that's facts. That's facts right there. Cap getting up. Ate some monster shots by a fighter, from a fighter who was allegedly on PEDs. Top 30, but there's the whole controversy about the amount that it was. Did they taint his stuff or whatever? But allegedly, he popped 30. And Devin Haney ate those monster shots. Superman Norman is also a hooker. And Brian Norman Jr., man, at the welterweight division, he carries a different level of power. We've seen him knock people out in destructive fashion, especially the last two opponents. One shot, boom! Go to sleep. Straight up counting sheep. Ryan Frazier. Devin Haney fighting a more dangerous fighter in Brian Norman Jr. I agree. Because the thing is, Norman Jr. is a big dude. He's a big guy, bro. And this is, because you got to remember, Ryan Garcia moved up in weights. And they fought each other catchweight, I guess. Ryan Norman Jr. is a career welterweight. Tall, big, strong, athletic. He's a problem. Agent 17 Shy Guy. Rolly made adjustments and shout out Ryan and took Ryan's best shots. JJ's in that Ryan didn't need anything but the left hook. Like they say, don't hook with a hooker. That's the thing, man. I don't know why Devin Haney chose to fight that type of fight against Ryan Garcia, because one thing I understand about boxing is that once you get hurt really bad, it's hard for you to stay with the game plan. You know, because now you're focusing on not taking that hit again, but you keep taking it. Which is what I found interesting, I guess, to say the least. How Devin Haney spent this whole training camp bringing up, you only got a left hook. And that's the same shot that Ryan kept hitting him with over and over and over again. I don't know if maybe, okay, he knows Ryan got a left hook. Could it be that he didn't think it was going to be that fast? Could it be that? Because that's another thing, my peoples. You could see a fighter on TV, but when you get in there in the ring together, it's not the same. It looked different. That speed looked different. That power looked different. Because I'm going to tell you something. When I watch, and this is how I learned it too. I want you guys to think about this. When I was an amateur boxer, I remember going to a fight in the Golden Gloves, and someone recorded it. Someone recorded my fight. And I remember that fight I won. And I was dying to see the tape. Because I'd never seen myself fighting before. So I'm like, damn, I want to see the tape already. Finally, I get it. Back in those days, it was a tape, my peoples. VCR. I'm going to watch my fight. And I specifically wanted to watch it because I caught this kid with a few nice shots. And I wanted to see it on tape. So, to give you an idea, when we in the ring, I'm like this on him. Bam, 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 bam. Like, I'm going Mike Tyson on him. Bro, when I watched the tape, on the tape, it looked like I was doing this. Like, the tape, the video footage, oftentimes does not give justice to what actually happened in the ring. That's when I realized that. So sometimes you can see a punch on TV, and you're like, oh, he faked it. He didn't hit him that hard. No, he hit him hard as hell. That's just the way it look on TV. Because I'm telling you, when you see my fight, I'm giving this guy everything. Bam, bam, giving him everything I got. And I heard him. And then I watched the tape. That shit look like this. That shit look like I'm in slow motion almost. Compared to when I'm there live. Because if you punching a dude like this, bro, he gonna block every shot. How you gonna hit him? Corey B. Live sports is totally different. It's a whole different view when it's right there. Punches that look like it was not much on TV, when you right there and you hear that, boom! Yup. You know, you like, damn. Le rompió la madre, le dio durísimo. Agent 17, we aren't supposed to be hit in the head to begin with, so any decent power shot can KO most people. Shy guy. But when Naoya got dropped, he adjusted. Haney couldn't keep his right hand up. I'm going to tell you why that's not a good comparison. Shy guy. I'm going to tell you why. If you watch the fight with Naoya Inoue, you're going to see what I'm telling you now that most people don't realize. The only reason he got dropped both times in his career, or is it 3 times, is because he's been out of balance. Now, yeah, you know, it never been dropped with a shot where he's standing and he get boom and get dropped. He never been dropped like that in his career. If you look at the last knockdown, if I'm not mistaken, he was shooting a right hand. And as his back foot was slightly lifted from pivoting, he got hit, boom, and his foot actually went like that. His foot went like this. So he got hit while the foot was pivoting, and he fell in an exchange. And if you look at the knockdown before that one, it was the same thing. He was in an exchange, and while he was like this, he got hit, boom, and fell. He's never been hurt. Both of those times, he got hit when he was off balance, and he got up right quick. So that's another thing that I could tell you as a fighter. There's those 2 different types of knockdowns. There's the knockdown because you hit me and I was off balance. And I fell because my footing wasn't good below me. If I'm good, that punch would have never dropped me. But I was mid-swing. I was doing a movement. My feet wasn't right, and I fell. That happens. And usually people are not hurt. And then there's the knockdown of you hit me so hard that I lost the ability to stay standing up. I couldn't stay standing up because of that punch. There's a difference. Now you know it never been dropped like that. That he got hit and his legs went. He been dropped because he got caught at the right time. Ryan Frazier. Inoue wasn't fighting any devastating puncher like Ryan Garcia. Raw dog. That's why I tell people, but beating Canelo was anything but easy. You don't understand what was really going on in the ring from the TV. That was a great fight. Canelo's a very competitive opponent. That's the best fighter that he ever faced. And he ate some big shots in that fight. There was times where he did make Canelo look easy, where he dominated him, but that doesn't mean that he didn't eat some big shots. The same thing with Errol. Look at Errol. Errol got battered, but that doesn't mean that Bud didn't have to eat some serious punches during that fight. Shy guy, but he adjusted and never got caught again. Haney should have kept his hands up. I think Haney's whole equilibrium, though, his whole equilibrium got knocked off. Once he got hit with that first big left hand, that had him like this, that's his equilibrium. And I'm telling you, my people, sometimes a fighter get hit with a shot that throughout the whole fight, he's never able to recover, to go back to normal. Now he's fighting off of talent and off of fumes. Look, for Devin Haney to get hurt like that and keep getting dropped and keep fighting, that's crazy. That's crazy. You know how many fighters would have stood down, would have just took a knee, or would have got dropped and never got back up the second time? A bunch of fighters. But I'm keeping it real with y'all. If I myself have the opportunity to stop that fight, I would have stopped it. If I'm Bill Haney, I would have stopped that fight. Y'all see my son? My son, he only 3 years old. He about to be 4. He loved boxing. And he be telling me he want to go to boxing school. Then I'm going to take him. Maybe that's going to be something he likes as a kid. Maybe one day he'll grow up and still want to do it, want to compete. I'll support whatever he want to do. But I tell you what, my peoples, if I somehow end up coaching my son and he out there getting pummeled, I'm stopping that fight. I'm not going to put his health over my pride and over his pride. If he getting beat up, I'm pulling the plug. Even if it's a fight that he's winning and in the later rounds he's taking a nasty beating, I'm not thinking, yo, nah, let me let it finish because he's going to win on the cards. I'm thinking, yo, I don't want my son to be punch drunk. I don't want my son to have some type of something. Corey B, boxing is brutal. Boxing is a brutal sport. But this is something that I want to point out, Corey. As a fighter, we're trained to fight. That's it. We're not trained to quit. There is no training. If you train, you know what I'm talking about. Nobody ever train you and say, yo, if they hit you too hard, just stop and tell them not to keep hitting you. Or just tell the ref that you don't want to keep going. Or just, nobody train you for that shit. You're only trained to fight. So the people that's supposed to protect you from you is your corner, the ref, the doctors, and everybody else. Because you are trained to fight. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why you see a fighter gets knocked down, he get up and want to keep fighting. You beating him up, he still want to keep fighting. Because that's what you trained us for. That's what we're supposed to do. So Devin Haney should have had his pops on his side, put ego aside, put all of that stuff aside, and say, nah, my son getting pummeled out here. Yo, and pull the plug. What if Dev would have ended with brain damage after that fight? How you think Bill would have felt? If Devin Haney would have walked out of that fight stuttering, he can't even talk, and messed up in the game, how you think Bill would have felt? Knowing that he could have threw the towel at any moment and let it keep going. So come on, my people. Shy Guy, Bill don't care. Yeah, of course he cares. That's his son. Of course he cares. That's his son, bro. You can't say that, Shy Guy. You might not like Bill, you might not like Devin, but you can't say that he don't care about his son, bro. This guy, there's nothing about his relationship with his family, with all his kids that could have you say that. This guy made Devin Haney from zero. This guy left the streets, was making real bread in the streets, and left that life out of it, left that life completely to support his son's career, to support his son's dream. That man is a great father, bro. Don't say that. Now, you're right. I feel like he should have thrown in the towel. In that case, it could be pride. It could be even Devin telling him, yo, nah. Don't stop it. But it's like I told you. If I'm there in a fight with my son and he's taking that type of beating where they keep dropping you, where you keep getting wobbled, I'm stopping that fight. I don't care if you was winning on the cards. I don't care if you think you still got it. I don't care. Because at the end of the day, I've been watching boxing long enough where I have seen fighters come out of that ring and never be the same again. I've seen it. Not to mention the fighters who did come out of the ring. Who only their body came out of the ring because they wasn't there no more. Shy Guy, I don't know, man. I would have thrown in the towel. I would have did the same. Like I said, man. I would not allow my son to take a beating like that. Agent 17, like Triple G versus Rosado. Look, I'm going to tell you what's the problem in boxing. If a fighter quit, if they throw in the towel, all of that stuff, automatically there's a narrative put around him. He quit. He's a quitter. And so on and so forth. And that shouldn't be a narrative. You know why? It's easy for you to say that a guy quit when you're sitting at home watching TV and these two guys are pummeling each other. It's easy to say that a guy quit when you've never been punched in the mouth. But the reality is that fighters, if somebody's in the ring and they feel like they hurt, for example, or they feel like they got a headache, they should actually quit. Because if you got a headache, that could be an indicator that your damn brain is swelling inside your head. So think about that. You're a fighter. You're doing your best, but you're getting beat. You got a headache. Your brain is swelling inside of your head. But are you thinking about, if I quit, the whole boxing world is gonna shit on me? I can't quit. I gotta keep going. We the problem. We the problem. We should not do that to boxers. If we didn't do all that goofy shit, oh, he a quitter, oh, he quit, then a fighter with a headache in the middle of the 6th round will feel comfortable with saying, yo, we're not gonna keep going. Yo, I'm not feeling good. Hold on. My brain's something. That's it. I'm good. But a fighter can't do that because we're gonna label him a quitter and try to destroy his career. We don't care about his life. We don't care about his brain. None of it. You better keep fighting. We want to see blood. And don't you dare run. And let's get a smaller ring too. We the ones that are guilty of that. Just do boxing in the building. My God, salute. Bam. So again, this whole narrative where if a fighter doesn't continue a fight, we're going to rain down on them. We're going to shit on them as much as we can. That's something that has to stop. If a fighter is feeling something in his head, some type of pain, he should be able to say, I'm not going to keep fighting. I promise you. If fighters were able to be honest and say, nah, yo, I can't keep fighting. I don't feel good. Less people will stop dying in the ring. Because when guys are getting battered out there, pummeled, they just not going to keep trying. Like, and I'm not saying they're not going to keep trying because they're losing the fight. Remember, I'm talking about you're feeling something that you can't tell anybody because we're tough. We're these machines. And we could take anything. So we have to brave it out and keep fighting. That's why people die. Right there. They can't pull out of the fight. Mid-fight. Because we're going to label them all type of stuff. Shy Guy. Facts. Internal bleeding is real. A boxer has died from that. A bunch of boxers die from that. Why? Because they can't just pull out of the fight. Can't. And then the people that should stop the fight, they not stopping them. Canelo Crush J. Smith. What's Crawford's next fight? Honestly, it's hard to say because I've seen Crawford say that he was considering going back to 154. Then he said that he's not. He's going to stay at 168. And there's going to be a lot of options for him. He's the guy right now. Terrence Crawford is the hottest guy in boxing right now. He's going to have a lot of options. Let's see what he decides to do. Me, I'm on the side of he can fight whoever he wants. He earned it. The first 3-division undisputed champion in the history of boxing and the over 100-year history. All these champions, all these elite level fighters, all these people who's been fighters, and nobody's ever done it 3 times undisputed. So that's it. Terrence Crawford, he earned it. Do whatever you want, fam. Fight whoever you want. Go get you a bag. You see, Terrence Crawford deserve an exhibition fight. He deserved an exhibition fight and that Jake Paul type of money. Tank Davis, at 30 years old, without beating a single champion in his own division, that's a different conversation. We'll have it another day. Roger Smith, I'm off the Haney pack. Stay still. You're wrong for that. Roger Smith, chat. Don't believe a word he says. We slept together last night, and he kissed me. Well, you need attention, right? Look, man, you're angry. Take a 24-hour timeout. Nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. Come on now. Now, people, I want you to know that right now, Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney, that's going to be one of the biggest fights that's already scheduled right now. Remember, this is not one of those that we're talking about, that may happen, that we may see. We know that's a done deal. Gonna happen. I promise you I'll make a prediction for you guys. I'm just not ready for it. Just not ready for it. Now, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, they haven't even signed, but I think there's going to be an announcement soon. And look, you know what? That's why you can go ahead and call me Jay Stradamus, man. They're going to announce that fight. That fight is happening. No, I didn't talk to no source. Nobody on the inside told me anything. I'm just Jay Stradamus. I put together all the data, and it all comes back to tell me that Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson will fight each other next. Jay Smith, get him the fuck out of here. You know what? I put him on a 24-hour timeout, man, but we know who that is. We know who that is. We know who that is, right, JJ? We know who that is. And it's too early for vegetable salad. It's the veggie. Man, I want to see the rematch between Martinez and Mbili. I mean, that rematch has to happen. With the type of fight that was, that rematch has to happen. Damn, yo, they landed some big bombs on each other, man. And Martinez, I said Mbili was going to win that fight. I got mad respect for Martinez, bro, because I knew that he could fight. But you seen the type of punishment that Martinez took? And he was still right in front of him, barely trading bombs. That was insane. Shy guy. I don't know. T.O. be a goofball at times. But if he locks in, I think Shakur will get his first L. Look, I said it before. I think that Teofimo Lopez may be the first guy to actually push Shakur Stevenson through adversity. I got Shakur winning this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Shakur gets dropped or maybe he gets wobbled. You know, maybe he sees himself in a situation where it'll be tough. It'll be tough. It will be tough. So we just have to see how it plays out. My peoples, I want to tell you, I dropped 2 videos yesterday. I want you guys to check them out when you have time. Check it out after this live. It's the anatomy of a prediction. It's part 1 and part 2. Why is that video named The Anatomy of a Prediction? Because I actually explained to you guys, step by step, how did I come to the conclusion that Terrence Crawford was going to beat Canelo Alvarez by unanimous decision. And I think I gave you a pretty good explanation, pretty detailed explanation as to how I decided, no, this is what's going to happen. And those of you who've been, you know, with us long enough, you know. Even when people say, Jay, you really think Crawford is going to win? I would say, I don't think. I'm telling you, I know. I know he's going to beat him, and I'm telling you how he's going to beat him. I did that for 3 months straight. Well, if you want to know how I really came to that conclusion, please check out The Anatomy of a Prediction. You know, you get to see a lot of images of the fighters, some video footage, and real good stuff on there. But it also gives you some tips. When there's an upcoming fight, this video gives you some good tips on how you make your prediction. Watching it will show you that I didn't say Terrence Crawford was going to win because, oh, well, I like him as a fighter, so he's going to win. I like Canelo too. Throughout this whole thing, stuff got lost in translation, and people thought that I'm a Canelo hater. Check the videos, man. Check the channel. The receipts are there. I love Canelo Alvarez. I just had Crawford beating him for many different reasons. But my peoples, check out those two videos that I posted yesterday. The Anatomy of a Prediction by your boy Jay Smith. I want to say salute to everybody who tuned in today. Y'all already know what it is. JJ's in there, has who else was in the building, man? Agent 17, Shy Guy. Um, a lot of you guys was in the building from even from the beginning. Damn, I'm trying to go back and I'm like, okay, Superman was in the building, going at it, going back and forth. Corey B was in the building. Duncan Carter was in the building. My peoples, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Y'all already know what it is. This was another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. You know it, man. I'm Jay Smith. I'm about to get the hell out of here. But before I do, happy Thursday. Thank you to everybody who hit that like button. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Oh, I see a few people subscribed today. Appreciate you dropping in. Don't forget to check out the shorts, my peoples. I drop videos almost every day. Exclusive content. The best boxing videos is right here in Box Center. Your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Peace.